Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Like a House Fire, occasional video cast starring Sean Rueter on CageSideSeats.com, a pro wrestling website. These days largely a WWE website, but hey, that's what pays the bills. If you feel the Jones to talk about anything else, we cover it when we can, and there's always the daily, so make use of that. It's a great community. That's one of the best things about CageSide. We do our best to keep up with the news and the analysis and pieces like that, but we always have a very active readership and commentariat to fill in the gaps. So these days, most of what I've been reading about the last couple of days is actually WrestleMania 31, which is somewhat, good for all of us, very forward-looking, but it is a little bit less than 6 months away. So that is, like I said, that's out there. So. And as we saw last year, I mean, a lot of things changed from what the rumors were at, around Hell in a Cell time to what ended up happening. A lot of that was because of, fan uprisings, so to speak, or at least we were led to believe it was. It's a great thing about pro wrestling; we'll never know for sure. So we had a few things going on. One, we got a World Heavyweight Champ, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar, who is AWOL. And I think, I don't know, it's starting to bug me a little bit. I thought I was okay with it. I don't necessarily think that the champ needs to be on TV every week. I kind of like the old school throwback to being more of a special occasion to see him. It's strange that to not even address it, that he's been gone since Night of Champions, and really, Paul Heyman was there to be mad at Seth Rollins one night, but other than that, we haven't even talked about it. I think it's a pretty easy... You can close the plot loophole of Daniel Bryan being stripped for not being able to defend his title within 30 days, whereas Lesnar is going to pass that, as far as we can tell right now, without any mention of it, just by saying that that he negotiated a different deal with the Authority. Basically anything that comes up with the Authority are heels, and they didn't like Daniel Bryan, so they used the rule to screw him, but they're not going to use it to screw Brock. That would just seem like they cared a little bit about their ongoing narratives, whereas right now, I don't think it's necessary for them to address it, but it's weird not to. And for those of us that do spend a lot of time thinking about these things and following along, it's weird to not at least have that addressed. So we don't know. I mean, the rumors going around today were that we won't see Brock again until Royal Rumble in January. And that when he comes back, he will be facing, wait for it, fresh matchup, John Cena. Again. I have been of the opinion that at some point Cena is going to get his win back from Lesnar. I doubt that's at Royal Rumble. So if this is true and that's the plan, that's not great. I don't know who else they have to face. They've built Lesnar up as such a big deal that they haven't really built anybody else up on the roster as a big enough deal to face him. I think Cena's there. Rock would be another one. He's back, and he's been thrown into the rumor mix this week, too, that he wasn't back for just a one-off on Monday, that he will at some point be fighting Triple H based on some comments that Triple H made about the two of them having a long-running rivalry and always being competitive, that they might build to that as sort of a co-main for Mania 31. That's fine. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. I don't know what the storyline ramifications are there. I guess they want to settle their feud. They want to finally have a one-on-one at Mania. Do they take the time to set Rock up as opposed to the Authority? Or do they build to it like they did the Triple H Undertaker matches, where they're just sort of both face characters and we want to see it because they're legends? I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. I think, as much as I don't think the match would be great, I think you'd have a really good story with Brock Lesnar. I think that would be the kind of thing that would get that would get play on Sports Center and and Entertainment Tonight and a lot of other places. A legit MMA champ against the highest grossing movie star in the world at one point. That's going to put butts in seats a lot more than Rock versus Triple H does. That also doesn't help create any new stars, though. So. Anyway, I don't know. Ideally, think we, the smart fans, would like to see all of these guys, putting over the next generation. I don't think that's realistically going to happen. I think that at some point, like I said, the other thing that I wanted to talk about here that really sort of puts this all in the mix too is what are they going to do with Hell in a Cell, where we found out this week that that Dean Ambrose will face John Cena to start the night, with the winner of that match getting Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell structure. And I don't see Cena losing once, or certainly not. I don't see him losing to Dean Ambrose. He has done the job, so to speak, as much as they try to sell that he didn't do it at Night of Champions. He has lost his last 2 pay-per-view matches. So I either don't see them doing it, or if he does lose to Ambrose, they're investing in a John Cena's really bad year storyline in a way that they never did for WrestleMania 29. And again, I don't see any way that they pay that off with a guy that they have so much invested in, other than to at some point have him beat Lesnar. So is that at the Rumble, and then the rumored Lesnar Reigns match at Mania becomes a non-title match? I don't know, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Another thing we saw this week is that Roman Reigns is still not the smoothest promo in the world, and he's going to be on the show for a little while, so he's obviously not progressing as an in-ring performer right now either. I still think the ceiling is really high on this guy, but I think that thing on Monday was pre-recorded. You could tell the pauses where they expected big pops. He stopped after Brooklyn. He stopped after his little catchphrase about, kicking ass, or I don't even remember. Believe that. It was sold wrong, and then it was underwhelming what we got. And plus, the crowd didn't react to it. He's not going to be the kind of guy that moves a smart crowd like Brooklyn, the way Ambrose will. And he's certainly not yet to the point where he's like Rock, where just the novelty of seeing him transcends any insider information you have about how this guy's not good for the business or something. So, so maybe that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if it was Reigns in a non-title situation getting a chance to work with Lesnar. I don't know that that's a great match either, but I don't think Lesnar's capable of really having a bad match. I think you could probably sell that for 15 minutes. But if that's the case, then you're sort of taking away the novelty of Lesnar as a special attraction if he's lost at Rumble and then loses at Mania. And I think there's some validity to the position that Lesnar becomes your new Undertaker at Mania for a while, and that he's a special attraction that doesn't lose there. So, I don't know. I feel like they've got a lot of places to go. They've got questions to answer, which is a good thing. As much as I don't want to see a John Cena overcome storyline, I'll be second guessing it and not sure what they're doing every step of the way. Going into Hell in a Cell, I don't know. My guess is that, and this is a mild spoiler for SmackDown, that the stipulation that they put on the match with the being a contract on a pole match means that somebody gets protected in the loss. Either Ambrose gets to the contract even though Cena's beat the crap out of him for 15 minutes, or one bad they fight an evenly fought match and then one bad turn leads to Cena getting it while Ambrose looks on, and then there's a lot of places they could go with it. So I guess that's our jokes about on a pole match aside. There's a lot of places they can take that match and that storyline. So, but it is intriguing. If he loses there, if Cena loses there, where does he go? What does he do until Royal Rumble when he faces Lesnar? It's hard to feud with a guy that's not there, especially somebody like Cena that they've built around for so long. So, boy, I just talked a lot and I didn't have any answers for anybody. Like I said, I guess my bottom line is that I will still be absolutely shocked if Cena doesn't get his win back from Lesnar at some point. I think that has to play into the build to WrestleMania 31. So the notion that it's going to be full speed ahead on Reigns, Lesnar, and Rock, Triple H, and Cena versus whoever screws him over at Rumble again, which would probably be, I guess maybe Rusev is the leader for that, or if a Rollins feud goes well for Cena for a while, but then again, then you're in a where does Dean Ambrose go? And I don't know that they care so much about that. He seems to be over regardless, so they'll find something for him to do. But I think we're far away from the time when John Cena isn't the center of WWE programming, and I think we should all brace ourselves for that in the 6 months that we have until WrestleMania 31. That one way or another, this guy is going to be prominently featured. He's going to go over in the end on somebody, and that's life. And that doesn't even get into what about Daniel Bryan, who's floating around out there? What about Batista if he comes back? I mean, that's one thing that the Rock rumors seem to put a pin in, because the conventional wisdom was that Batista would come back for a farewell match against Triple H. So maybe he really is not coming back. So there's a lot of stuff to kick around here. So good time to be thinking about this stuff if you like to think about fantasy booking and wondering what they're going to do and how they're going to get guys over and sell pay-per-views. Nice work, WWE. And if not, they'll probably just fuck it all up and we'll bitch about it, but we'll keep watching, because that's what we do. Kind of like Mark Henry, except without the halls of pain. Anyway, like I said, sorry I didn't really answer any questions, but I think those are at least trying to lay out the questions as I see them and stuff that we can look forward to over the next few months. So that's like a House of Fire for this week, October 6th, the week of October 6th. I turn and look at my calendar, which has cats on it, since I'm filming this in a place where cats won't walk across the screen. Just know that I have a cat calendar. And that's it. That's it from your favorite Kevin Smith lookalike. Stay tuned for all the news, and I'll put some links to things that talk more about what I talked about. And we'll be back. Should be back next Monday after Raw. Matt should be done moving and traveling around the country and whatnot. So stick with us, and as always, deal with it.